I remember it wasn't long after looking down my nose at Jonna for her heroin addiction that I found myself addicted to prescription pain pills. A series of childhood accidents from motocross, gymnastics, and high diving had left me with a compressed disc in my lower spine. Now my biggest nightmare of all time had become true. Not only was I an addict, but I had something in common with Rush Limbaugh. Life can be cruel. The joke was really on me when I learned that quitting Vicodin and OxyContin could actually be harder than quitting heroin due to the high precision of synthetic opiates.
Rush Limbaugh, as far as I'm concerned, he's a victim. He's a victim of this of the drug war, because he got hurt. He got addicted to OxyContin, which is like heroin. Apparently, it's harder to get off than heroin, and he got so addicted that he had to go illegal. But Rush, personally, I have compassion for him, and I feel sorry for him, and I would like to turn him on to pot. You know, if he needs something to mellow out, you know, smoke a joint, Rush. That's my prescription to you.
Most people don't realize this, but CIA has the highest alcoholism, adultery, divorce, and suicide rates, other than the post office. Most people at CIA drink too much. And I know for a fact that there are people at CIA that smoke marijuana. And they're just hoping they won't get caught on their next lie detector test. Marijuana is, like alcohol, something that people want to use. And I have no problem with it as long as they're not driving a car.
Ask yourself, what would happen if the United States of America or California or any of our states were to treat marijuana like alcohol?
This right here is 1/4 ounce bag of the Jack Herer.
And the answer is 3 things would happen right away. All of them would be good. The first thing, and I'm in California so I can talk about my native state. The first thing is that the taxpayers of California would save about $1 billion that they spend in 1 year alone to try to eradicate marijuana and prosecute and incarcerate nonviolent marijuana users.
Just awesome weed, man.
And by the way, marijuana is the largest cash crop in the state of California today, even though it is illegal. So you can tell how successful we are at that. Number 2 is grapes, by the way, if you care. The second thing that would happen is we could tax the stupid stuff and generate revenue of at least $1.5 billion every year just by the tax base.
Not cheap.
Now already we have a change in our budget deficit in California alone for a year of about $2.5 billion. Imagine what we could do with that money. And the third thing, it seems to me, trumps the first 2. The third thing is we would make marijuana less available for our children than it is today. Why? Because the alcohol is regulated and controlled by the government, and illegal drug dealers, illegal marijuana dealers, control the sale of marijuana. And as a result, they don't ask for ID.
I think if you wanted to start to do this, and that's why the DEA has fought it so hard, you would start by legalizing medical marijuana across the board. But you've seen how hard DEA has fought. They'll stop shipments of birdseed coming across the Canadian border that don't even have any THC content or can't get you high, can't grow any plants. And they will fight that tooth and nail because that's how flimsy the facade of the drug war is.
If you want to come home to your home, smoke marijuana, then that's your business. That's not the government's business. Our government has always told us it's addicted and, you know, and so forth, but marijuana has been around for many years and has never killed anybody.
What's your opinions about medical marijuana?
Well, that's a tough one. Tough one. If it's issued by tight controls by a physician, I don't know if I oppose that. If someone's dying of cancer, and that's going to help that person, I don't know if I'm strictly opposed to medical marijuana you're probably talking about. It can help the dying patient, but it has to be dispensed by a doctor, just like codeine and other drugs. Doctors dispense other drugs.
So the secret through all of this, I've been doing this for a lot of years, the secret boils down to one thing. Prohibition never works as well as regulation and control. Let me say that again. Prohibition never works as well as regulation and control. That doesn't mean that we abandon our children to cocaine use or marijuana use or anything else, but as soon as you prohibit something, you give up all control. And now the only people in control are the illegal drug sellers, and they do want your 14-year-old daughter to get hooked on cocaine.
Before, when you went to buy marijuana, you didn't find cocaine or heroin there. You didn't see guns. It wasn't a violent scene. That's why it was easy to catch us.